Hello, and welcome to the second edition of About Frankfort. I'm Clint Goins. On this month's program, we'll look at two events that should have a significant impact on the Frankfort area. One of those, of course, is Capitol Expo. We'll look at that a little later. The first one is an event that is relatively new to this community. It takes a lot of volunteers, a lot of money, and it's for a good cause. It's called Project Graduation. Project Graduation is a drug and alcohol-free party which will take place June 9th after the Western Hills and Franklin County High School graduation ceremonies. It will involve about 200 volunteers, and one of those is Dale Rogers, a teacher at Western Hills.
I'm the project coordinator representing Western Hills, who are working in conjunction with Franklin County, so I have to try to make sure that our end of town is doing an equal amount of work, working on this project to get with Franklin County and the other people in the community on this.
Okay, and what are some of your duties as far as this is concerned?
Well, I'm working right now with the entertainment committee, and we've been going out working with the merchants, trying to solicit any type of money, or we try to get donations, prizes, anything that they can do, materials to help us with it. So I've been helping to canvass the area along this side of town.
What is some of the entertainment that will be at the project graduation?
Well, this year we've been able to round up a couple of the University of Kentucky people who are going to be here, such as Darren Feldhouse. We have John Pelfrey, Miss Kentucky, Felton Spencer from the University of Louisville, and Coca-Cola is going to donate their band with their light show up on the ballroom floor. So we have just a wide array of things going on.
Mrs. Manuel, how long have we had project graduation?
They've had it in this county, I think this will be the 4th year, but it never has been a true project graduation.
What do you mean by that? What
They
is a
have
true?
had it on nights other than graduation night. And the whole idea is to keep the kids safe and off the highways and going from party to party, drinking on graduation night as they traditionally have done over the years. So like in the past several years, they've had it, last year they had it on Derby Day, which was 3-4 weeks before graduation. So we wanted to have a true project graduation. This is the first year for a true project graduation.
Now, how many schools are involved?
2 schools, Western Hills High School and Franklin County High School, the 2 county high schools here. Frankfort High was invited, and they declined our invitation. They have their own little project graduation.
Okay. How did you get involved with project graduation? Your daughter told me that you went to New York, was it?
We went to Washington, D.C. to a national convention. She won a trip there, sponsored by MAD and the National Association of Broadcasting. And there was a convention, and the focus of it was on project graduation. And we wanted to come back into the community and bring some of those ideas that we got there.
Somehow the manuals convinced me that I should chair the entertainment committee. And with the help of about 12 really dedicated people, we got together, started brainstorming some activities, and came up with an agenda, with an itinerary that's just overwhelming for the kids. I don't know how they can possibly do everything, but we had a lot. The committee has been so much fun that every time we meet, we come up with new ideas. And our latest is on the money. We're going to use pictures of the principals and the assistant principals at the 2 high schools, and some of the pictures we've gathered are hilarious. So we're hoping that the kids will appreciate the humor and will want to participate.
What are some of the other activities on the
Well, we
agenda?
have a lot. We have, as the kids come in, there's a photographer who will be roving, and he'll take before pictures as they walk in, and he'll take after pictures. We're going to have a photographer who's going to take pictures of the seniors and present them to them as gifts. We have makeovers, we have hairstyling, we have a fortune teller who's going to read palms. We have carnival games, Monte Carlo. We have, the gym will be open. We have bingo, Jello wrestling, which I'm sure Charlene mentioned to you, and we're hoping to get some of the teachers and principals and counselors from the high school involved in those. We have a sound booth, we have karate demonstration, we have weightlifting, we have let's see, a live auction at the end. We have a dunking booth. Again, we're hoping to get some of the principals and all involved. We have, let's see what else, a sound booth, and then we have a dance, of course. And during the course of the dance, Gail Powers is chairing that, and she tells me that they're going to dance. Then they're going to rest a while, and they're going to have a hula hoop contest. Then they're going to dance. They're going to rest a while. They're going to have a hot lips contest. Then they're going to dance. They're going to rest a while. They're going to have a lip sync contest. Then they're going to dance. They're going to rest. They're going to rest. They're going to have a Mr. Legs contest. So it's going to be really interesting all night long to see these things going on.
We will begin around 10 o'clock on June the 9th. After both schools, county schools, have had their graduation exercises. We will have the entire student center at Kentucky State University, which they've graciously donated, and the gym for part of the night. And at about 11:30, we're going to lock in after we've gotten everyone registered. And there will be activities and celebrity guests, jello wrestling, every type of activity that you could possibly think of. We're going to have that night, just about. It's going to be something like you would have on a cruise ship, where there's so many activities they probably can't possibly get involved in all of them.
Now you said at 11:30 that they're locked in.
Mm-hmm.
At 11:30, once you're there, you're not going to go home.
They don't leave. If they leave, we call their parents, and they are not eligible for prizes.
Okay, and they can't get back in.
They cannot get back in.
Have you had any other offers to go to any other parties or anything?
Yeah.
You have?
Yes.
But you decided to go to
Right.
this one. Why?
Well, you know, you can win a car. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to miss that, because there's, you know, only seniors are able to win it, and you know, you're a chance out of 230, I think, that's how many seniors there are, or something like that. You know, 1 out of 230 chance isn't bad. They may have more than one car. I don't know. I believe they are 2 or 3.
I think it's going to be really neat with all the great prizes that we're going to be able to win, and plus it's the last time that our seniors will be able to spend time in an organized function such as this, and I think it'd be really special.
Do you think it'll be effective in its goal?
I think it will be, because I know a lot of people weren't too excited about it, but they're starting to look more towards it, and more people are going now than were before.
Well, I've heard of other parties going on, but since everybody's going to Project Graduation, a lot of them have been canceled.
Okay, now why is it you're going? Why do you want to go to this party?
Because I can have, you know, a good time without alcohol, and you know, I want to win all these prizes. They're giving away 2 cars, they're giving away a trip to Orlando, all kinds of things are giving away, and I think, you know, I can have a good time there.
Okay.
I think others can too.
Primary objective, of course, is to keep these children, maybe they don't want to be called children, these students, off the road with alcohol and drugs and this type of thing. Of course, this is going to be alcohol and drug free. They've got a lot of activities planned, so I feel like students are going to be surprised how fast the evening passes. And they all said they want to go for the prizes. I think Pam Gravely indicated that it would be the last time they'll be together, and I think that's going to be significant. I think we've kind of hit that up, you know, let them know that, you know, you won't be together again, even at reunions in 10 years or 5 years or 20 or whatever, because they all won't be there. There'll be places where they can't be. Some of them perhaps will be deceased, and we just don't know what's going to happen in the future, but the possibility of them all being together again is, you know, very small.
I went to a regional project graduation. I had a really good time, so I'm definitely going to be there on graduation night.
Have you had any other offers for other parties?
No, I really haven't, because most people are going to be at the project graduation, and they are planning on being there, so nobody's really planned any big parties.
Why are you involved in project graduation?
Because I think it'll be a good time, and I really want to be there with all my friends, and I think it's a really good idea, and I hope they continue it in years to come so that they can have, you know, large drug-free, alcohol-free parties.
I've been going every year to help out through Students Against Drunk Driving or Student Council, but this is the first real project graduation we've had. It's been on graduation night, and it's just a lot bigger and better than they've ever had. Franklin County's had a few, and our SAD chapter here helped out, and I think there's been 2, but they're not really, they were just like a party, a drug-free party. It really wasn't project graduation.
I feel like it's one of the most important things that we do for students throughout their 4 years. We have found that that graduation night is a very vulnerable night for these kids. They absolutely feel infallible. They have graduated. The oyster, just everything is, life's their oyster. There is nothing that can happen to them. And we have seen over and over, this is not necessarily true. This is a night that is very special to the community because we each know several of these seniors that's graduating. So we wish to make them feel that they have an opportunity to attend a party that's given just for them. And we use the emphasis of drug-free, but actually I think that more important, we want to show an appreciation for their accomplishments. And we'd like to point out that you can have a really good time without drugs and alcohol. But when you consider these young people, most of their values have been set. But we want to protect them at this time because we have found it to be such a vulnerable time.
I think it's very important that parents become involved in this. For the most part, this is about the last independent fun our kids are going to have that we can actively chaperone and make sure it's a safe venture. And I really wish more parents would come out, would contact the manuals and agree to chaperone and just lend support to the operation. I think a lot of the kids would participate if they thought their parents were supporting it a lot more. I think it's a worthwhile effort, and I think it will be safe for our children, and I think that's what we're all interested in.
My parents are on one of the committees, and of all the meetings they go to, they tell me all the stuff that's going to be there, cars and all the kinds of things that's going to be there, and there's no other place really I'd rather be than Project Graduation, because to me, if you're going to miss out if you don't go there.
Now Capitol Expo. It began in 1974, and every year gets a little stronger. Now let's take a look at this year's version.
We have a lot of the old standbys that we've had for many years. For instance, the Farmers Bank Hot Air Balloon Race, the First Federal Antique Car Show. Of course, we're going to have the Llama Ride back again, which was a highlight last year. The Friday night concert, which has been a real big success for us over the last few years. And we've got a new thing this year. It's another concert. It's actually sort of a Capitol Expo kickoff bash, and it is on Thursday night, May the 31st, here at the Civic Center, at the Frankfort Civic Center. And it will feature Eddie Miles and his salute to Elvis. Friday night concert, the format for that would be rock music, and again this year we've booked the winner of the WKQQ Decent Exposure Contest, which is a group called Shofar from Lexington. And we also have a local group, a notable group called Onyx. They've played at the Friday night concert a couple of times and draw a huge crowd, terrific group. So we've got an excellent lineup. In between bands, of course, we have the big, giant Capitol Expo fireworks display, which gets bigger and better every year. We try to have something for everyone, so we'll have, on Saturday evening, we have the WKED Old Time Fiddlers Contest, which has been a big crowd pleaser for many years. We'll have square dancing, clogging on Saturday evening. We've even got a country music concert on Saturday evening after the fiddling show. And that will feature a group here in Frankfort called Mark Wright and Back Creek, and we've also got a group to play for the Saturday night concert from Nashville. And this fellow's name is Rick Arnold, and he's had a single called I Must Be Crazy that was the #1 single at one time on the independent charts, and it also made the Billboard charts as well.
We want a good selection of different kinds of food for everybody here to sample what's here in Kentucky and outside of Kentucky. Really, we have people that do travel to come here. They say this is one of the best shows they can get into. We do have our hot dogs and our burgers and our JC Beefalo. We got pork chops, chicken. We have catfish and trout. Western Kentucky barbecue. And here's a new one that we haven't had is beef Wellington rolls and spinach and broccoli puffs. That's a new one. We haven't had that one. Italian sausage, shish kebab, country ham, bratwurst, roast beef, pork schnitzel, and more German foods to go with that. We got the Mexican food this year and the Thai food. And for desserts, you can have homemade ice cream, yogurt, lemonade shake-ups, funnel cakes, elephant ears, snow cones, root beer floats, cotton candy, popcorn, and of course I wouldn't want to leave out our commercial displays. We have quite a good number of those this year. They don't serve food, but they'll be up there advertising their wares and whatever. But we have a very good turnout on food this year. We even have some Greek food too. We got just about all of them here this year.
We have a lot of high-quality works that are going to be around the fountains this year. We have painters, I think there are about 4 or 5 coming back, and then we have 2 from Kentucky. One is from Louisville, and John Firth from Louisville, and there's Betty Hale Gergen, who used to live in Frankfort for a time, and her husband is from Frankfort, and she's coming back. They live in Georgia now, and she has some very high-quality watercolors. We're real excited about that. And then we have a lot of wood craftsmen, and people in Frankfort do appreciate good wood, very good craftsmanship. And there are going to be all kind of wood sculpture, wood bowls, and from wood turning, and toys and games and all type of, especially kitchen utensils. There's going to be a booth of those, and they're really beautiful. And we have sculptures. We have a stone sculpture coming for the first time. He's from Paintsville, and Don Lawler. And we have a chainsaw sculpture. He's from Georgetown.
A chainsaw?
Yes.
Sculpture?
Now, we're going to have to give him plenty of room. He'll probably be on the top deck somewhere because we have to rope off an area so it won't be dangerous for anyone. So we can't put him around the fountains. But see, the other ones, we have a lot of pottery, and jewelry and there's a lot of good jewelries too. There's porcelain jewelry and all kind of gold and silver, and there's very good craftsmanship in that too. And quilters, the fiber artists, we have one sort of modern type of wall hangings, and the quilters. We have one from Jewel Willoughby's coming back from Kentucky, and then we have some from West Virginia this time. They have beautiful quilts, and we have well, just you name it.
All sorts of things.
They're really nice.
I think we have several exciting things happening this year. Number one, we're going to have a kickoff concert on Thursday night with Eddie Miles. He's going to do his salute to Elvis Presley, which is something that we haven't done before that we're going to try this year. And we're really excited about that. Matter of fact, we're going to be doing quite a bit of TV advertising, you know, in the Lexington market and the central Kentucky area, which is also going to promote Expo quite a bit. We've produced a color brochure this year that we've had distributed all over the state in hotels and, you know, in all the places that pamphlets are distributed. 10K race is back this year. You know, we had about a 2 or 3 year stint where we didn't have the race on Saturday morning, and now we've worked that out to where we're going to have all the runners back, and I think that'll add to the festivities of Capitol Expo quite a bit.
Capitol Expo Festival is an arm of the Chamber of Commerce, and we have a coordinator that works part-time all year long on the Capitol Expo Festival and the Frankfort Beautiful Commission. So she runs those 2 programs. Her name is Betty Garback, and she does a really, really nice job, in addition to working with all the hard people that, that make up, all the volunteers that make up the Expo board. You know, we can sit back and take a look at the growth that the Expo has taken over the last few years. Every single year it is growing in one way or another, either by the arts and crafts, the food booths are expanding, the entertainment that is provided at Capitol Expo. There are things for adults, for children to enjoy. And that's really good. That's really good for Frankfort. You know, if you think that over the last few years or so, or maybe even last year, that we bring in excess of 60,000 people to the Capitol Expo Festival, you can imagine in just the next couple of years the amount of people that are going to come through, because we're constantly growing. It's expanding, and that is fantastic, and we're real excited about that. And to the volunteers that work with the Capital Expo Festival, the board, it takes a dedicated group of people to put this thing on every single year, and they just do an outstanding job.
How much money does it take to run the expo?
It's really amazing. I mean, when people come down here and see the 50 or 60,000 people and all the activities and entertainment and food booths and arts and crafts, you would think it's a lot of money, but the total budget for Expo last year was about $34,000. And we took in about $32,000, so we were a couple thousand in the hole last year. So we had to go around this year, and we had a pretty extensive money-raising campaign where we tried to develop more income for Expo so that we can put on more entertainment and have more events for people. Because we like the idea of trying to make it a non-entry fee kind of, no, we don't have to charge admission for any of it. It's all free entertainment, except for the concert on Thursday night. That's not, that's going to be a charge for that. But all the 3 days of Expo, we try to have that to be no charge for any of the events. So it takes money raising to do that.
I just am one of those fortunate people who gets to come every year and enjoy it.
Really?
Yeah.
How long have you been coming?
I've been coming since 1975 when I returned from college. Came back to town and went to Expo the next spring and was absolutely thrilled to see so many people in Frankfort, because even though I'd grown up here, I came back with the notion that I was coming back to a really sleepy little town, and the very fact that 5,000 or 10,000 people had gathered on the deck of the plaza for wonderful food. I mean, the food is something that I think everybody recalls about Expo, and really enjoyable entertainment, along with the juried arts and crafts show, I think, which has taken place every year, was really a treat, a real cultural kind of treat, as a matter of fact. And it's grown over the years, but I don't think it's lost that reputation any at all. Sort of has diversified and broadened. I mean, certainly you can say that Expo has something for everybody. Every taste, every age range, every variety of ethnic diversity that there is.
So have you been every year since '75?
Absolutely. I wouldn't miss it for the world. This year, as a matter of fact, I was scheduled to go to the Soviet Union, and it occurred to me about 2 weeks after I'd sent my deposit in that I was going to have to miss Expo, and all of a sudden I had these real strange feelings about going to the Soviet Union, and I kept thinking, well, maybe the whole place is going to blow up, and sure enough, the trip got canceled, so I'm going to be able to come to Expo this year, too. The things that are most special to me about Expo is that it's really come to be sort of a homecoming for our community. Frankfort has changed dramatically since the years when I was a child here growing up. I think the change in the merit system in state government. Frankfort used to be the kind of town where a lot of people had lived, but only a very small group of people lived here for a long time and really called Frankfort home. But somehow now that we have the merit system and all these wonderful professional people in our town, many more people in Frankfort who are staying here, and you see people retiring from government with 25 and 30 years of service. It speaks really well for our community, but the result of that for the community, I think, has been a growing sense of home and for community pride and interest in community activities that Expo certainly is a beautiful manifestation of that. And so the thing that I like most about Expo is getting to see those people. I mean, I run across neighbors from my childhood days, parents of my friends, my own friends who've perhaps moved away and come back with their children to enjoy Expo with their family.
I think my favorite part is the people. I think that's one of the reasons that I've been involved in Expo, is that I enjoy the activities, just being down here and seeing all the people that from Frankfort. It's kind of like Old Home Week, where you meet people that you haven't seen for a while, and get to talk to all your friends. It's a great people watching place. I mean, I really like the event, and I wish it was every weekend, to tell you the truth. Except I'm glad I don't have to organize it every weekend, but I wish it was every weekend. It really is nice.
What, in the arts and crafts classification, what do you think is the
the big crowd pleaser, or what people come to see most in arts and crafts? What
Well, they like to see someone demonstrating, of course, and painters and leather workers and anyone working in wood. Or they just like to talk to the artists and craftsmen a lot of times and find them very interesting, and I do too. That's what makes my job interesting, is talking to people.
This year, one of the new things that we're going to do is the Historical Society is going to put on an event called Wilderness Days on the grounds of the old Capitol, where they're going to have like pioneer cooking and pioneer games and people dressed in frontier outfits and frontier arts and crafts, which they're going to have a street dance Friday night near the old Capitol too. So I think that's going to be something that'll be a little bit different and more unusual. So, and I'd also like to mention that we're going to expand over to St. Clair Street Mall. St. Clair Mall is going to have we're going to call it it's a lawn and garden show. We still haven't come up with a good name for it yet. I think St. Clair Green or something like that. But it'll be, some entertainment over there. Food's going to be available at Rick's and Kelly's and several places. So I think that'll be nice also.
How long have you been involved with Expo?
More years than I want to
Have
say.
you always been the arts and crafts person, or?
Yeah, I started out that way, yes, and several years ago when this complex opened in '72, and then it became Expo in '74, and I've been involved in one way or another every year. One year I didn't do Expo around the fountains, but I've been involved in certain type of arts and crafts all the time.
When did you start working on this year's Expo?
Before last year's Expo.
So it's
a year-round.
Year-round process.
It's probably 23 hours a day, 365 days a year production.
And when is your job complete?
It'll be complete Sunday at 6 o'clock, June the 3rd. It's the end of Expo.
Okay.
Probably later than that, because we have to do cleanup as well. So that's janitorial work. That's sort of, I'm sort of entertainment director, head janitor.
Now, you like this though, right? Because you've done it several years. There's nobody pulling your arm to do this.
Dr. Birch pulls my teeth if I don't do it. So, no, I do enjoy it. It's Capitol Expo is a fantastic thing for Frankfort. It's an absolute rush. No, it's terrific. It really is. To see the smiling faces, especially with the kids. I have to admit that so I've got one child of my own and one more on the way, and I've tried in my tenure with Expo to do more and more for the kids each year, and that probably has to be the highlight, to see the smiling face of the children, especially last year with the llama ride and the petting zoo. That they enjoyed that so much, and of course we're doing the same thing again this year. But I really do enjoy it, and it really is satisfying. It's tiring that weekend, very tiring, but it really is satisfying.
Folks, we're out of time. I hope you enjoyed the show, and until next month, I'll see you about Frankfort.